Simpson has taken on board the feedback from users and reviews, including direct correspondence with me personally regarding their previous efforts, and their response is the new Plus X pedals. On my table is the full kit, 3 pedals and the accessories. For the first part of this presentation, I'll cover all of the important features of the pedals, and then to round things off, we'll head over to the track for the testing and evaluation. Before we move on, a quick shout out to the channel members and a personal thank you from me for your valuable support. I'm not sponsored by any brand or produce paid for videos, so if you enjoy my independent content and want to support my work, click the join button to become a member. The pedals are built from 3mm sheet stainless steel, cut and formed into shapes. The parts are then connected using tenon and mortise joints, plus bolts and threaded standoffs. A familiar sturdy design we've seen many times before and remains a popular blueprint for pedals because it's cheap to manufacture pedals this way, but this is also reflected in the budget price point, and that's what makes these very interesting. Looking at the throttle pedal first, we get a full-length pedal face, wider at the bottom to aid heel and toe shifting. Note the additional countersunk holes for height adjustment. The pedal resistance comes from two sources, a spring supported by a metal rod and a hydraulic damper that's discreetly positioned below that. Both are adjustable on the pedal arm for tuning the tension. The preload on the spring can be adjusted to further fine-tune the pedal resistance. A criticism aired by some users with the older Pro Plus pedals was even at the softest setting, the throttle pedal still felt too stiff, so Simpson has included a lighter spring to help out. I'm following the steps laid out in the manual to swap out the spring. The pedal stop sits in a slot so you can easily alter the pedal travel. Just don't forget to recalibrate the pedal afterwards. The pedal angle is adjustable, accessible by unscrewing the two rear bolts. Loosening the front bolts will make things easier. The clutch pedal features a simple but effective mechanism that emulates a clutch pedal feel. Two stiffer die springs are included. The process of removing and installing a spring is basically the same steps as the throttle spring replacement, whereby you unscrew the rod from the swivel joint to release the spring. The hydraulic rod on the clutch pedal is dampened in both directions, essentially a two-way hydraulic rod, where the resistance is the same in both the forward and back motion. The throttle pedal has a one-way hydraulic rod, and you should be able to observe the difference here quite clearly. The throttle pedal springs back quickly, the clutch pedal is more sluggish. The brake uses a 200 kilogram capacity load cell, and laid out between the load cell and the pedal are a fixed set of elastomers separated by plastic washers and a short preload spring sitting against a metal plate at the load cell end of the stack that secures this all in place. For tuning the feel of the brake, we get 3 sets of elastomers. The red ones are 60 Shore, the yellows are 70 and 80 for the blue ones. The Shore rating relates to the hardness of the material. The higher the number, the firmer they are. You can swap out 1 or 2 elastomers with these hard plastic spacers. Doing so will reduce the pedal travel and increase stiffness. The manual illustrates the options. It's a simple procedure. Unscrew the collar to relieve the tension and the metal plate and rod will lift out. The controller box has sockets for the pedals, plus sockets for the optional Simpson vibration motors. I don't have a set of those motors here, so I can't show you those today. Just head over to the Simpson website if you want to find out more details on those. The DC input is for the power supply for the motors. No external power is required if you're just running the pedals, just that single USB cable that runs from the controller box to your PC. This is my DIY pedal plates. I have a separate video on this. I'll drop a link below if that's of interest. Simpson also sell their own pedal plate, so that's another option. I found the generous size of the pedal mounting slots does make it easy to line them up and set their position. It's rare to get a full printed manual included these days. Usually all you get is a bundled pamphlet with a QR code pointing to an online PDF. So full credit to Simpson, this is a detailed manual covering every important feature, including the adjustments and the Simpson Manager software for calibrating the pedals. The software is easy to navigate and understand. There's a simple initial calibration process where you push on the pedals to register the minimum and maximum pedal input range. Then from the main screen, you fine-tune the inputs, such as setting dead zones or applying an output curve. For the brake, there's an elastomer pre-selection menu that's linked to the maximum brake force measure you can set. For instance, for the soft elastomers, the maximum force is 60 kilograms. For the hard elastomers, that's increased up to 140 kilograms. You can also save and restore multiple settings. Overall, the software is decent. I encountered no dramas setting up the Plus X pedals, so I managed to get up and running almost immediately after installing the pedals on the rig. Okay, let's get down to the nitty gritty and talk about the performance of these pedals. Firstly, they are sturdy, as you would probably expect from the material used and the appearance. The pedal motion was smooth on all 3 pedals, and I didn't feel any side-to-side pedal play in use. I did test for EMI running the Plus X pedals along with my Fanatec CSL-DD, a wheelbase that is notorious for EMI, and a problem I was able to demonstrate in my SIMSONN Pro Plus pedals review a few months back. The new controller board is better shielded than the older one to protect against EMI, and I can confirm I had absolutely no EMI issues. Simpson has also included a ground wire just in case. You attach it like so and run the other end to the throttle or clutch pedal. Although I have it attached here, I tested both with and without the ground wire connected, and the result was the same, no EMI issues either way. I can feel the hydraulic damper working on the throttle pedal. It's not going to improve your pedal control, but does give the pedal a richer, more realistic sensation over basic spring resistance. It's a feature that enhances immersion. The older Pro Plus pedals used gas springs that merely increased the pedal resistance, and I would add the older throttle pedal was a bit too firm with the gas spring. The new hydraulic damper is an improvement. The pedal weight resistance is better balanced. The hydraulic rod fitted on the clutch pedal has a more pronounced dampened feel, and unlike the throttle pedal, one-way hydraulic rod, dampened in the push stroke and springs back quickly, the clutch two-way hydraulic rod, the pedal return is slowed down. I did initially have a concern that it could be a problem with the pedal remaining engaged for too long after lifting. But during my testing, I did not find this was the case. I expect the two-way hydraulic rod was specifically chosen by Simpson to suppress noise. During heel and toe shifting, the speed of the action means the clutch can rebound, with force producing a loud knock. The Plus X clutch pedal is virtually silent. Despite having the different spring options available, I kept the stock spring installed. I liked the pedal tension, how it arrived, so had no reason to change it. The clutch has an authentic feel of friction, weight and pedal travel. I like it, it's done well. The brake pedal comes packed with a 200kg capacity load cell, a two-way hydraulic rod, a preload spring, 3 different sets of elastomers, and a bag of hard plastic spacers. Let's start with the preload spring. This is a small section of soft linear pedal travel before we hit the firm elastomers. It simulates a road car brake pedal where there's a portion of light pedal motion before you feel the bite of the brake pads against the discs. Pressing the pedal, I can feel a distinct transition from the preload spring to the elastomers. For sim racing, this serves a practical tactile reference point for lightly scrubbing speed and trail braking. It's very useful. Dissecting the spring from the rod, you can see inside the spring sits a plastic spacer. This restricts the travel of the preload spring, there to provide a set measure of travel. You could remove the spacer to increase the preload pedal travel, but I don't think that's necessary. How a brake should feel is completely subjective. What I prefer may differ from your preference, and that's why we get 3 flavours of elastomer included, so you can tune the pedal feel. The result of using the soft elastomers versus the firmer ones should be quite obvious. The soft elastomers give the pedal the longest pedal travel and the lightest resistance. The hardest elastomers make the pedal feel firmer and reduce the pedal travel. I settled on the yellow 70 short elastomers, but I found the other 2 sets were also viable options. I did briefly try them all before making my final choice. 60, 70 and 80 short is a well-picked selection. The beefy size of the elastomers make them durable, so that's a positive too. The plastic spacers provide additional fine-tuning. Essentially, there's 6 possible configurations, and of course when you exchange elastomers for these plastic spacers, it makes a noticeable difference to the pedal feedback. Another aspect of tuning the brake pedal is setting the 100% brake input measure. In the Simpson Manager software, you enter the exact weight in kilograms. So if you type in 60, the brake pedal will need 60 kilograms of your foot force to hit 100% braking input. So that's easy enough to understand. I do like this method of setting up the brake force. It's precise and that is important. You set the level to suit your style. If you naturally stamp down hard on the brake pedal, then you need to set a high value so it's not too easy to lock the wheels. But if you struggle to brake hard enough, then simply set a lower kilogram value. So that's all the details covered on that brake pedal, and I found setting up the brake was straightforward. And the performance of the brake is excellent. Simpson have nailed this one. This is the 4th pedal set from Simpson I've reviewed on the channel, and this is by far the best brake pedal they presented, and that's entirely owed to the elastomers and the preload spring. It gives me a perfect measure of pedal motion and progressive feedback for accurate and consistent braking. This really is a great brake pedal. It's easy to work, completely intuitive, it's awesome. I almost forgot to mention the hydraulic rod. If I'm honest, I don't really think it matters or is adding anything useful here, due to the natural short pedal throw of the load cell brake. I guess it's providing a small layer of resistance, but I can't truly tell. The hydraulic rods are welcome additions for the throttle and the clutch, but on the brake it's overwhelmed by the elastomers. I'm sure you have the impression I like these pedals, and I do, but they are not 100%. I did discover a couple of manufacturing imperfections with my sets. Nothing that I found affected performance or I could tell were present while using them or would lead to failure. The first one is the thick collar that covers the threaded standoff for the pedal pivots. The purpose of the collar is to add support to prevent lateral pedal play. They are fitted tightly to the brake and clutch pedal, but on the throttle it's loose, and there is a small amount of lateral pedal play. While I'm racing, I can't feel any of this pedal wobble, so it's not actually a problem, or at least it's not a problem for now, though it is possible that will become more noticeable once the pedal has worn in over the coming weeks and months. I also discovered my brake pedal load cell wasn't correctly aligned and mounted in a slightly offset angle. It's clearly not straight, and this should have been picked up during assembly. This is sloppy quality control at the factory level. Simpson need to do better. The brake still functioned normally, there wasn't any scraping, and changing out the elastomers wasn't impeded, so it gets a technical pass in the fact the misaligned load cell displayed no negative outcome for me other than cosmetic. But this does raise the concern that Simpson have a low bar for quality control. So some customers could get a perfect pedal set and others receiving theirs beset with some imperfections like this, or potentially worse. So Simpson, please properly inspect your products. This is not good enough. I have one final observation to share with regards to the hydraulic rods. Now, this is not a flaw as such, but you should know you can hear the oil swirl around. This is not something I can hear over my speakers, so it's not loud or distracting, but I figured I should at least point this out. Initially, when these Plus X pedals arrived, I had this notion they were developed to completely replace the Pro Plus pedals. But at the time of this recording, Simpson are still selling the Pro Plus pedals on their website. But the fact is, these Plus X pedals are essentially an improved version of the Pro Plus pedals, and I can tell a difference, and I do appreciate those changes. They are the better pedal sets because of these improvements. Despite the imperfections I pointed out earlier, that didn't spoil or reduce the performance of the pedals. They ran fantastic for me and feel great, sturdy, very precise and accurate. I found no faults with how my Plus X pedals handled every game and car I tested against them. I've enjoyed my time using them. This is a banging set of pedals for sim racing, so yeah, I do recommend them. But Simpson just need to tighten things up with the quality control. That's the only thing that lets them down.